Okay, so MLA citations. Citations are what's in parentheses after a sentence when you get information from a source. So anytime you look up some information for a fact or a statistic or a quote, or you're using someone else's idea that's not yours, you need to give them credit in your essay. And that's what I mean by an MLA citation. MLA is just the format. Citations you'll use for all kinds of different formats, because you need to attribute this thought or this idea or these words to whomever came up with them. So it's important to use direct quotes sometimes to offer text evidence, especially when you're analyzing a story. If you're going to tell me the theme of a short story is learning the value, it's important to learn the value of friendship. Let's say that is the theme to the story Breaking the Pig. You need to pick out a quote or two from the story that supports your statement. Whatever claim you're making about a story or whatever point you're trying to make about anything, you need to offer some text evidence to back that up, to support it. And that's called text evidence. And it's called direct text evidence if you quote it word for word from the story. And in that case, you need to use quotation marks. So here are a couple of ways that you can attribute or give credit to the author in your essay. This is from the story Here It Is Saturday by Lucia Berlin. This is what we want to quote from the story, word for word. Marcus is a brutal guy, Indian, a serious felon. Okay? Maybe this writer is writing about the character Marcus, characterization. So here are a few ways that you could do this in your essay and give credit to Lucia Berlin, who actually wrote the sentence. You could write it this way. Marcus is a brutal guy, Indian, a serious felon, and then put her last name and the page number you found it on in parentheses. And then a period. You always include the period or punctuation after the citation. So it wouldn't go here like it normally does, it would go here. So again, this is the author's last name and the page number. If you don't want to write it that way, you could maybe include the author's name in the sentence. You could write, Berlin writes that the character Marcus is, quote, I've got my quote mark here to indicate it's not my words, it's hers, a brutal guy, Indian, a serious felon. I don't have to put Berlin's name here, her last name, because I've already written it in this. I can just put the page number in parentheses, followed by a period. Or another way to write this would be Marcus, according to Berlin, comma, is, and then I quote her, a brutal guy, Indian, a serious felon. Why wouldn't I have to include Berlin's last name here in the parentheses?
Because you already used it.
Exactly, Christina. I used it in the sentence. I'm indicating who wrote this within the sentence. So you can do it like this, where you include the author's last name in the citation along with the page number you found it on. Or you can do it like this, where you write the author's name in the sentence, therefore giving them credit, and then includes just the page number that you found it on in parentheses. Okay, any questions on that?
No, sir.
Okay, why is it important to include parenthetical or in-text citations? Why should we do this?
Well, because I think if you don't do it, it's not going to make sense.
Well, it still might make sense, but whoever's validating your research might want to look this up, right? And make sure that you did it correctly. So they need to know who wrote it and what page number it's on. And why else might we want to do this?
To avoid plagiarism.
Very good, Anthony. That's the answer I was looking for. You want to avoid plagiarism. If you take someone else's words and take credit for them yourself, that is a serious academic offense for which you could be expelled from a college or university. So anytime you're quoting, if it's a direct quote and you're writing it word for word, include these quotation marks and make sure you attribute who wrote this originally. Otherwise, you're saying, hey, I wrote this, and that isn't true. So be honest and Just let the reader know where you found this information. Okay, I'm going to stop recording now.